Hashtag Je suis Charlie. Hashtag Flint Water Crisis. Hashtag Black Lives Matter. Hashtag Pray for Paris. Hashtag Bring Our Girls Back. Hashtag All Lives Matter. While a hashtag may bring awareness, a hashtag doesn't save our world. The world can become better when I, as an American, become less selfish. The water I waste on an hour shower is the water that someone else across the world travels 15 miles on foot to retrieve to use for a full week. My hashtag won't save you because we all read and repost, but who really gives money to donate and volunteer time to help? Hashtag Black Lives Matter. True, but there are too many African Americans who have the opportunity to educate themselves that don't, and somewhere there is someone who wishes to get higher education who can't because they are stuck working because that's the only source of income for their family. The world can become better if we learn from each other. The world can become better when we stop talking, listen, and act. The world can become better when me becomes we, and when we can build our future for our children. All this access to communicate with different countries, and you choose to limit yourself. Globalize, recognize, and realize the significance of communication. The world can become better when we stop being in competition and become a relay race to success. If you have an issue about something, take action. You can't expect change to happen with the push of a button on a phone that someone across the world made for you. The clothes on my back can keep someone else warm at night. The shoes I wear can stop a child from being bullied at school. My car that I drive can save someone from being killed from walking down a bad side of town. My voice may be heard, but my actions speak louder. The world can change once our hashtag stop being a trending topic and become an action.
What makes a better world? Equality. Imagine being African American in America. Now imagine being African American and a woman in America. African American women is basically a double minority. We are being overlooked, hidden behind the scenes. In America, there are 23.5 million African American women in the U.S. We need to come out of our hiding and show that we run the world. Role models such as Rosa Parks, Oprah Winfrey, Michelle Obama, and many more should be evidence that we are Black, feminine, and beautiful, proving that we dominate anywhere we go. We need to educate ourselves on our worth and keep striving for equality in areas such as education and employment. Not only African American women, but all women. In most countries, women are the minority and do not have equal opportunities as males. We can have a higher position jobs and do anything that a man does. A better world means everyone equal, no matter the gender.
If is such a small and yet powerful word, creating question and thought towards unlimited possibilities. The prospect that another world would be possible if we could only say what we wanted to. Within the thoughts of not insulting anyone and remaining politically correct, there are possibly more slighted by not speaking in actuality than those who are arguing that they are being offended. If we could say without fear of reprisal what is pure in our minds to better generate conversation among our neighbors, this could be another world. Honesty and compassion could be an everyday occurrence for all if, instead of offending or not talking for fear of offending, an open dialogue could happen between differing parties, reestablishing awareness more than ignorance. It is a simple act of listening to a viewpoint rather than taking immediate reaction to one word that can create another world. If we could listen rather than take offense. If we could talk openly rather than defensively. If we could rethink being politically correct. If is such a small and yet powerful word.
What can we do to change the world? Well, it's not that simple as can be for many. You ask me, what can we do to change the world? Well, first you got to change yourself. What can be done to make our world a better place? Let's be more realistic about what we call freedom. More respect, more compassion for our fellow sisters and brothers. What can we do to change the world? Well, first, let's try changing the color of our skin into just one solid color. Before you walk through that door of unique individuals, check and identify who you really are before you shame or blame someone else. What can be done to make our world a better place? Less judgment, less politics, less competition. Why can't we all just be one? Confidence in ourselves, motive in our veins, success along with putting our heads in the game. Stop the violence, it's nonsense. All those drugs are nothing but what they say numbs the pain. Let's talk debt. When will we ever pay it off? Change is only for the better, they say, but we can't be better with the debt title label to our name. So yeah, let's go ahead and cancel out debt, bad credit for a change. More money, more jobs, more homes, and especially more comfort for the people who feel like they're alone. And don't forget, we need less unhealthy food and more healthy natural foods to help us all live long. Change, change, change. We can't leave out education. A better one would be great for some. Provide more opportunities, more knowledge, more advantages. Change in education will change the world. What can we do to change the world? Well, let's try putting our eyes in the eye of an eagle. Watch closely to what we call goals. Focus the eyes on the prize so we can all have a chance at being wise. Imagine the world as an elephant plant that never stops growing. Now we ask ourselves, what else can we do to change the world?
What makes a better world? We must understand how important this question is. We must understand how important we are to each other. If we all hold our hands mentally, we can work together to succeed together. Why make this world a competition? Why are we competing with each other? Who told us to battle ourselves? Society has embedded this mentality on us, this I must be better than you mentality. Take a look at our current issues. Why are we still paying loads of money for school, taking out loans that we will have to continue paying long after we've graduated? How can we increase the intelligence of our population when there's a large amount of us who can't afford higher education? How do we stop drugs from flowing? When are our own governments are the ones feeding it to us? They send people to snatch our people off the street, like something's really being done about it. What's the purpose of prisons? Isn't it to rehabilitate our people, or is it to enslave our people? What makes a better world? Unity makes it better. Settling our differences, enough with the categorizing of people and the prejudiced mentalities because of what somebody looks like. We're all one, human. I have a birthday just like you have a birthday. I own a surname just like yourself. We may have different backgrounds and come from different cultures, but we're all equal. So let's put our brains together and combine our incredible ideas into one. Leave no one behind. Let's make this world a better place by working together.
Greetings, class. I am Donjay Cooper, a student here at Winston-Salem State University, studying political science and business management. Because I am an advocate for social justice, today I would like to share my perspective on how to make a world a better place, specifically for the African American male. I will start by addressing the social issue faced by many black males in society today, which includes mass incarceration of African American men and the racial disparities within the criminal justice system. The rise of mass incarceration of black males is opening up a new front in the historic struggle for racial justice. Individuals of color are continuously, disproportionately incarcerated, policed, and sentenced to death at a significantly higher rate than their white counterparts. According to the Center for American Progress, 1 in every 15 African American men and 1 in every 36 Hispanic men are incarcerated in comparison to 1 in every 106 white men. Racial disparities in the criminal justice system threaten communities of color by disenfranchising thousands by limiting voting rights and denying equal access to employment, housing, public benefits, and education. The civil rights laws of the 1960s were supposed to prohibit discrimination in public places, but that type of discrimination is now acceptable, legal against anyone labeled a felon. To get to the heart of the matter, I would like to strive to make a better world by creating more racial and social justice within the criminal justice system. I will do so by executing my personal goal of creating a nonprofit organization to benefit African American males who have been incarcerated by helping restore the civil liberties from which they have been deprived and help them readjust in society. To go a little more in depth, I intend on having contracts associated with housing developments in my city to allow a certain amount of units to be occupied by those that will be in need of housing once released from jail. The same will apply with employers. As far as education, the program will be very resourceful with finding those who offer free GED classes or certification programs that can allow the men to advance and become more educated.
The goal of the program will be to prevent recidivism and enable Black men to become successful despite being a convicted felon. President Lyndon B. Johnson once stated that you do not take a person who for years has been hobbled by chains and liberate him, bring him up to the starting line of the race, and then say, you are free to compete with all the others, and still justly believe that you have been completely fair. In my effort to strive to create a better world, I will continue advocating social and racial justice throughout the criminal justice system and bridge the gap between those who have been convicted and those who convict. Thank you for your time.
Hello, my name is Danny Johnson, a junior marketing major at Winston-Salem State University. Now we'll be talking about what makes a better world. Throughout my 20 years of life, I've seen just about every good or bad thing that this world has to offer. For example, 9/11, Hurricane Katrina, and the gracious day that our President Barack Hussein Obama was elected in 2008. To say what can make a better world, I must first ask the question, what is so wrong with the world we live in now? The violence, the injustice, the poverty, the pollution, both food-related and environmental? How can we make a better world? We must first practice what we preach. Be the kind of receiving person that receives everyone. Stand up against injustice, give back to our communities, and try to lessen our environmental footprint. This may not be the biggest impact on the world, but it will affect one person, and that one person will affect another person, and so on and so forth. So to make a better world, we must first change ourselves. Thank you. My name is Danny Johnson, and I talked about what makes the world a better place.
Hello, my name is Shania Smith from Raleigh, North Carolina. Close your eyes and think about the following questions. What make a better world? Is that even possible? In the words of Muhammad Ali, I wish people would love everyone else the way they love me. It would be a better world. It seems as if the unification of the world only appears when we are only celebrating someone else, such as a celebrity. Is this our reality? Living our lives through other people? To make the world a better place, we must come together and allow the change of the world to excite us and to work towards a brighter future. We have to look for the justification within ourselves to grasp the true value of a better world. In summation, by a famous blogger, creating a better world requires teamwork, partnerships, and collaboration to make the world a better one. How would you contribute to a better world?
Success in life comes when you simply refuse to give up. With goals so strong that obstacles, failure, and loss only act as motivation. What can we do to change the world? The world we live in today has separated the people into categories such as lower, middle, and upper class. More than half of families in the U.S. earn $60,000 per year or less. Around 40% of families earn 40% or less each year. The lower and middle classes are becoming less stable and forming together to become ultimately one class in itself, poor. In decades, only the upper class has made wealth gains, thus meaning the rich are becoming richer while the poor are becoming poorer. What can we do to change this issue and form equality amongst the U.S.? Making it easier for individuals with great ideas to form their own business will not only provide a better life for the individual, but create jobs and working opportunities for others. Increase wages amongst the lower paid jobs. Give a little more for the hard labor they provide. Make it possible for individuals to not graduate school with so much debt that they can't start living their lives yet. In my perspective, each one of these can make a change in a society. Choose your own path, not the one provided for you.
What can we do to change the world? As an individual, as a neighbor, and as a global community. To make change, people need to have a conversation with others who are different from them. Different religions, different races, and different cultures. Many of the social problems today are due to the ignorance cultural groups have towards one another. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. once said, "Nothing in all the world is more dangerous than sincere ignorance and conscientious stupidity." This quotation highlights the importance of knowledge. Whether it is intentional or unintentional, Ignorance is the lack of knowledge someone has on a particular subject. And in these contexts, it is the misunderstanding of other cultures. This misunderstanding of cultural groups, traditions, and habits are what lead to judgment, hateful judgment, and stereotypes. For example, in Kenneth Jost's article, Understanding Islam, he explains the ignorance towards the Islamic religion since 9/11 in 2001. Many people jump to the conclusion that all Muslims support violence, even though this is not the reality. It is people's ignorance which lead them to this misunderstanding. If only those who feared the Islamic people were to educate themselves on the Islamic traditions, they would understand why this is not the case. Education, which Nelson Mandela said, is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. By having intercultural communications, we, as a community, can gain new knowledge and better understand other cultures. Getting rid of our ignorance. These changes will start at the individual level by single people realizing there's so much more to learn about others. Then, this knowledge can spread to the community level by having small, diverse forums, giving citizens the opportunity to share their beautiful cultural traditions. Then, eventually, this knowledge can spread across the globe. This is how we can change the world.
Yea, abandon all doubt who enters this world. Sowing seeds on good soil will make a better world. Hearing and understanding wisdom will make a better world. See the world through the eyes of a farmer. When he scattered his seeds, some of them will fall on the path and will be eaten by the birds. Some will fall on rocky ground with not enough soil to grow. When the sun comes up, the plants will burn, and they will wither away because they have no roots. Other seeds will fall on thorns, which will grow and choke the plants. However, other seeds will fall on good soil, where it would grow crops and create more seeds. Another world would be possible if we, the people, listen to what the four sowers means. When a person hears wisdom and do not understand it, the evil one will come and snatch away their innocence. This is the seed sown on the path. The seed falling on the rocky ground refers to someone who is happy to have received the wisdom. But since they don't have a root, they don't last long. For example, when persecution comes with knowing the wisdom they are given, they flee the responsibility. The seeds that fall amongst the thorns refer to someone who hears the wisdom but doubts it by worrying about this life and its worldly things, choking the wisdom that was given to them, making it unfruitful. However, the seed falling on good soil refers to the person who hears the wisdom and understands it. This seed grows to produce 100 times more than what was sown. Planting more seeds on good soil will not only change the world, rather it will give it an eternity of life.
To make the world a better place, there has to be more volunteering and experience. Nowadays, everyone is stingy and selfish. We look out for ourselves and we don't like to share with others. Most people believe that you have to do the work to achieve, and if you don't, you are on your own. But most people don't know that a lot of individuals are brought up in poverty and are into certain struggles and just expect them to figure it out now, not knowing the entire story of their situation. Not every poor and homeless person is a lazy bum. Some individuals were drowned in medical bills and lost everything, lost some family members or spouses, or from their lives went down the drain. To make the world a better place, we need to have more sleep outs to understand how the homeless feel. We need to volunteer at local soup kitchens. We need to go on mission trips to third world countries and visit shelters. If we start this learning experience at a middle and high school level, these teenagers will be more informed about what's going on in the world, and they will grow up to be less selfish individuals.
What makes a better world? What can people do to better the world? How can everyone help? Let's start by treating others how you want to be treated. For instance, if you see a person frowning, saying hello will not hurt. If you see a person sitting alone, joining them will not hurt. Communicating with other people who are not necessarily like you is a great way to start the world, to better the world. Intercultural communication is a form of communication that aims to share information across different cultures and social groups. This type of communication allows the world to come together. People coming together from different religious and ethical backgrounds is a great way to make the world a better place. What the world needs is for everyone to come together. The world has become a place where everyone is very isolated. The world needs to come together as one to become a better place. Being open-minded is the first step to bringing people together. When people are of a different background than you, listening to their traditions and culture allows people to relate to one another. Taking ethnocentrism out of the world would be making it a better place. Making different connections with people of a different culture shows diversity. Being diverse means understanding other cultures and being able to relate to those other cultures. All races should unite. Instead of being against each other, why not be for each other? Uplifting other of all races, religions, and social groups would be a great thing. Let's make the world a better place.
What makes a world a better place? Let's try helping in no small way. Let's try giving without expecting. Let's try believing. What makes a world a better place? Stop making excuses. Stop giving up. Start seeing it through. What makes a world a better place? Make yourself a better man or woman. You are the inspiration, for the world we live in is in need of you. What makes a world a better place, you ask? We do.
What makes the world a better place? It all starts with bettering yourself. When we're in the right emotional, spiritual mindset, you can do anything. Doing the right thing and knowing right from wrong is a start. Being treated fairly no matter your ethnicity or the color of your skin matters in today's society.
Everyone coming together as one and doing what is right, supporting one another can solve a lot of issues. World hunger is one of them. Feeding individuals in the community is a great way to start, and you always see commercials about feeding children across the world, but we forget about the ones living right in our own community. If we start right where we're at, we can make a huge difference across the nation, showing more compassion to one another.
What makes the world a better place? It's starting with the community. When you turn the TV on, you see news about politics, and we expect just the president to change the world. But we have to act on changing it ourselves. And ask yourself, what can you do to help? Better education, better jobs, and not being in debt are some other things that will make the world a better place. Everyone has to have respect for one another. We are all human beings and never need to be treated as if we are not. We have to get out of the mindset that we are better than one another and that we have to always do for each other. It's time for the world to recognize that it's not about how you can help yourself, but to help others as well. Life is what you make it. Stepping out and making a difference speaks volumes. You have to ask yourself, what are you going to do? You can't change the world until you change yourself.
I'm Afia Sarpong.
I'm Brooke Sturgis.
And I'm Vernon Johnson.